Welcome to Green Ink Live. I'm Cassie Primo Steele, a poet, novelist, and writer and writing coach. I live in beautiful Columbia, South Carolina. You may be able to hear the birds outside the window. It's a beautiful spring afternoon here. In this Green Ink Live coaching class, I will be teaching some of the fundamental lessons that I have learned as a writer and as a writing coach and as the author of 18 books of poetry, fiction, and nonfiction. So, welcome. I'm very happy that you are here to join me. Let us begin by settling in. You may want to shut off notifications on your phone or other devices, shut the door. Let this next 30 minutes be for you and your deepest writing dreams and desires. One of the things that causes great anxiety and consternation for many people who are writers or other kinds of creative uh, entrepreneurs or business people or artists is the whole question of time. Time is, according to our culture, a limited resource, and there is only so much of it. And we are constantly like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, late, late, late for a very important date. What I will walk you through today are some alternative ways to work with and in time. I will go back to some ancient Greek myths for this to see where our concepts of time originated in Western culture and how we can revise these for our more multicultural, inclusive, and global world. I'm going to begin with a poem from my book called This Is How Honey Runs. And this poem, like all the poems in the book, was written during writing coaching sessions with individuals that I work with. So, as you may know, if you have been following Green Ink Live or attended any of my other classes and sessions, when I give a writing prompt, I write as well. So we co create the space where we can go deep, get quiet, and do our writing in a very focused and yet easy way. Before we get to that focused and easy way of writing, though, we might be wondering why we are so constantly failing. This poem is called Why Some Ideas Don't Work Out. I am trying to do a planting dance. With my arms, I announce with my whole heart, here I am. I am trying to do a planting. I want to avoid walking on my most vulnerable parts. I am trying to do. So I wave to everyone. Look at me, trying to fly, trying to get high. I am trying. I must take the seeds within and stamp them down with the soft space at my feet. I am. There must be seeds. They must be laid in the ground. I. So, why do some ideas not work out? And what does this have to do with time? Some ideas don't work out because we focus too much on the trying, the endeavor, the achieving, the forward focus, the dreams and fantasies of what might happen in the future. We move from trying to being when we understand the connection between the creative process and the role of the I, ourselves. Let's do just a short little bit of journaling now, just 2 minutes. I want you to reflect on what trying means in your own life. You might write about how it feels in your body to try, or the kinds of messages your mind gives you when you're in that striving place of trying to get to the goal rather than focusing on the present and the present itself. So we'll write for 2 minutes in response to the prompt trying means as a way of warming up and taking our reflection deeper. Trying means begin. Good. Go ahead and finish the phrase that you're writing. And then shut the journal or turn the page or otherwise kind of take a break from what you have just written. There are three types of time that we will explore together today. And the first one is called chronos. Chronos is the Greek word for time that is linear, that is the dominant form of what we consider to be time in our culture. That is, there is the past, which is from the present to the back, and there is the future, which is from the present to the forward, and there is us here as little dots on this timeline, and we can only say goodbye to the past and try to make the most of our future, and always the present is being swallowed on that timeline. Um, Chronos is clock time. Chronos is hungry. Chronos, as a figure in Greek mythology, would eat his children. We eat the future when we are constantly trying to move from where we are and get into something that we project or hope or want for ourselves. I want to share another poem now, and this one is called Discipline is Necessary. It also comes from the book This Is How Honey Runs. This is one answer to the hunger of Chronos and the kind of authoritarian nature of linear time. Discipline is necessary. The body in motion, a line on the page, paint on the canvas. A thing is not a thing. We think it is. We hold to the string. The balloon flies away. We are that balloon, flying through time when we cling, fearing the discipline the balloon brings its breath inside and pop. Don't pop. Breathe. Sing. Discipline comes from the root of the word, which is disciple. To be a writer is to be a disciple to that breath that allows us to float and move higher rather than forcing against the past or forging into the future. What are you a disciple to in your writing? Let's write about this for 3 minutes. I'll keep track of time. My suggestion for your journaling is to write in response to the prompt, I am a disciple to. What is it that you have faith in? What is it that you believe? What is it that you are willing to achieve through discipline, through confidence, through having faith with your own creative process? I am a disciple to begin. Good. Go ahead and finish the phrase that you're writing. Now we will move from an exploration of Chronos to the other conception of time, which is called Kairos. Kairos is spelled Kairos. I once taught a class for women writers, and I renamed it with a C because of Cassie, and also because I have a beloved client from Cairo. So I wanted to um, honor her with the name of the program. The difference between Chronos and Kairos is that Chronos is linear and has that sense of authoritarian pressure with it, whereas Kairos is about alignment between the above and the below. Kairos is deep time. We might call it sacred time. In a secular context, it is the moment, Aristotle said, when the words, the rhetoric, the art, what is being written meets the collective need at the moment. So there is more of an element of space and an element of depth. Kairos is that moment when you are writing and you're connecting to something deeper than the everyday of Chronos. And you are also able to speak to what the world needs your writing to be. Now, I will say that there can be a pause or a gap. I myself have found that often what I write is not read or appreciated by the world for maybe a decade, maybe 10 years. But that doesn't mean that I give up. It doesn't mean that I stop writing. It means that I am a disciple. I am disciplined about doing the work in linear time so that the book, the poem, the teaching will be ready when the world needs it. In order to do this, we have to disconnect from our attachment to what we might consider to be success or even failure. Let me share another poem from This Is How Honey Runs. And this one is called What Are You Burying? So this addresses that question of the disconnection. What are you burying? I am burying my struggle. I created it. I can lay it to rest. I thought there was a rush, for instance. Now I know more about time. I thought it was a matter of winning or losing. Now victory is mine. In order to cover this with dirt, I have to dig back to something earlier. When my daughter was little, I could be with her without a clock. This is what I am returning to, my heart, open, unlocked. Let's turn to our journals again. This time, I suggest that you write in response to the prompt, My heart is open to. And we'll write in response to this for 4 minutes. Let yourself feel the depth and the spaciousness of Kairos as you write. My heart is open to. Begin. Good. Go ahead and finish the phrase that you're writing. So we have talked about why some ideas don't work out and why trying is not a very good strategy for getting our work done because it takes us away from the depth of work that we can do in the present. We've talked about Chronos and the authoritarian nature of linear time, that sense of lack and limitation that heightens our sense of anxiety. This is also not good for our creativity or our writing. And we've talked about moving into Kairos, which is a deeper time, a sacred time, a time of alignment between what is within and what is without. And the last type of time that I will share with you, I've named after Minos, Minos, who was the son of Zeus and Europa in Greek mythology. So Zeus was the highest god in the pantheon of gods, and Europa is where we get the name Europe. So you couldn't get much of a higher um, ancestry than Zeus and Europa. Minos was the king of Crete and was what he was good at, what his superpower was judgment and condemnation. So we can often feel this when we are writing, that kind of fear of judgment and condemnation. Every 9 years, he made the people of Athens, from which we get our form of government, which is democracy. He made them pick 7 young boys and 7 young girls to send into a labyrinth to be eaten by the Minotaur. The Minotaur was a monster creature that had the body of a man. You might think of the name Minos as that part of the name. And the Tor, the head and tail of a bull. This is where we get the astrological sign of Taurus, which is represented by the bull. So he was about sacrifice, he was about judgment, and he was about condemnation. After his death, Minos became a judge of the dead in the underworld. So he continued even after death to be that kind of judge. How do we banish such a ruler? How do we banish such a king? We begin by beginning within. I'll share one last poem with you. It comes from my latest poetry book, which is called Swimming in Gilead. Many of us around the world are swimming in Gilead in that dystopian future, which is now present here. Um, this is called Let Us Begin Again. We won't be writing after this poem, so you can just shut your journal and just let the words enter you. And if you like, after the class, you can set a timer for yourself, maybe for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe even 20, and see what comes up for you after you have explored all of these different kinds of time. Let us begin again. Be very quiet. Make it dawn. Rise from bed. Walk on the lawn. Wait for it. The sun is coming. It's a new one. It's beginning. You don't believe me. You say this happens every day. There's nothing new under the sun, and certainly not the sun itself. Put your doubts on a shelf, I say to you. Hush now. Listen to the birds singing. Watch the blue ones feeding their babies. See the heron heading south for fishing. Look at the egrets catching pink light in their white wings. Faith is made of things like these, everyday moments, sights and sounds that you usually ignore. And today, since you've told me you're tired of life and wanting something more, I've shown you how to do it. And now that you know, come, let us begin again. Thank you for being here for Green Ink Live. I hope to see you again next week. Feel free to leave a comment or share the video with friends or on your social networks. I wish you depth and meaning in the time that you have.